That's what our guys have probably done the best job of, is really not getting distracted and really, working on that. And Coach Swinney's talked to our team about that. The teams that win these championships and continue to move on are the ones that are playing their best ball at the end of the year. We talk a lot about our Clemson DNA, or the Clemson offense DNA, and one thing that we've been known for is we play our best ball in November, December, and January. And so that's our expectation for this group, and so far they've been able to do that.
Jeff, as coaches and schemers, how much pride do y'all take in, after losing what y'all lost last year with a new cast of characters, largely, that y'all been able to stay at that bar that you said?
Yeah, I think as a coach, that's a challenge. We're not just on autopilot or just feel like, hey, we've had success just doing what we're doing. There's nuances and things that you want to continue to find ways to allow your guys to have success. And part of it is figuring out what your guys do best. It's kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the year. We got to kind of find out who is, what does this team look like? What is this offense? What's our strengths and weaknesses? And, and then as coaches, we got to be able to figure out, how can we take that knowledge and, put a plan together for these guys to go execute, at a high level. But a plan is only as good as the players and the execution. And it doesn't matter how good of a plan you put together if the guys don't take ownership in it and really buy in and really learn the plan and make it their own. And I feel like that's what we have a great balance of. I feel like, we got a great coaching staff, and it's not just our 5 full-time guys. We have a lot of guys in that room that are able to give insight, and everybody has their job and their role. Everybody takes pride in that. And then whenever we presented it to the players, and these guys have done a great job of buying into it. They believe in the plan, which is critical, and they've been able to go out and execute it. So it makes it a lot of fun to come to work every week when you got a group that does that.
Speaking of a plan, do you think Alabama might game plan for Hunter Renfrow this year and say this guy's not going to beat us? And does it even matter if they do that because you have so much depth at wide receiver?
Yeah, I've told him he probably needs to be lifting double here over the next few weeks, because the first time they get a chance to take a shot on him, they're definitely going to get everything they can. But Hunter's just that kind of player, and I've said it many times. As a wide receiver, I think the biggest compliment you can have is be a guy when the other team knows the ball's coming to you, and maybe even they know what route you're running, and you can still get open. And Hunter's done that time and time and time again, and I think that's what the great wideouts can do. I can remember, I told this story before, I can remember DeAndre Hopkins lining up against Auburn here in Death Valley. We had a long timeout, and he told the corner across from him during the timeout, I'm getting ready to run a slant right here. And he ran the slant, and the guy jumped in front. He still called it, and he told him, I told you I was running the slant, and ran off the field. And that's kind of, what Hunter's done. But he comes to work. He's hungry. He works hard, and I have no doubt he'll play at a high level for us.
A lot of Hunter's success in games last year was because teams were concentrating on Jordan Leggett and Mike Williams. Does that say even more what he's been able to do this year, that teams haven't necessarily had those great big weapons to concentrate on?
Yeah, I think for him, there's no doubt. His first year or two, he was kind of surprising people on the scene. Now he doesn't surprise anyone. And now, his play allows us to get other guys open. I can remember a key play against South Carolina on a 3rd down where, they decided to double team Hunter, and we threw the ball to T. Higgins and man-to-man coverage on the other sideline on a sky route. And so, it kind of goes both ways. There were times where they were doubling the other guys and leaving Hunter open, and that's really what we want our offense to be about. It's not about one player. One thing we take a lot of pride in, there's a lot of these games at the end of the game where we say, hey, we just broke a new record. 16 different receivers just touched the ball. And that's really, I think, when we're at our best is when we're spreading the ball around. And you can only do that when you got a lot of guys that buy in, that earn the right to play and go out and perform at a high level on game day.
Did you say, if you did interview, and if so, do you think that process can help you when your time does going through this process?
Yeah, I think, the best part, it's a little bit harder now whenever, obviously, with the social media and everything out there. But the biggest thing I would say is I love my position at Clemson, and I don't take it for granted. I feel very blessed to really, first of all, at the Division I level to be able to be in a place for 10 years is very rare. One of the reasons my dad tried to talk me out of being a college coach is he was worried about me having to pick up and move, every 3 or 4 years, which is typical. So to be able to be at your alma mater for 10 plus years has been a blessing. And having a young daughter here, I mean, there's no greater place in the world to raise a family than right here at Clemson, especially in an environment that Coach Sweeney has created here at Clemson. So, I've never been in a hurry to take off and leave. And if that opportunity comes one day, then I'll know it. But right now, I'm really excited about the future. I'm looking at what we're doing right now, and I'm thinking about the younger group that's going to be coming here in the next 2 or 3 years, and that really gets me excited. So as long as that happens, I hope I could continue to come to Clemson to work every day.
Do you
Coach,
still
just
talk
the
to your dad
success that the
about-
program's had, or what is it about this environment that's kept this coaching staff so intact over the past few years?
Yeah, I would say number one, the people that you work with. We as coaches, we talk to other coaches. You go to coaches' conventions and you share stories, and every time that I go out and talk to other coaches, I almost feel guilty for the opportunity that I get being around Coach Sweeney every day. And he gets the best out of his coaches, he gets the best out of his players, and he does it in a way that makes you want to do well for him because of everything that he does for other people. And then the second thing I would say is just the support that we have here at Clemson from top down, from our Board of Trustees to President Clements to our AD, Dan Radakovich. There's an alignment of power that is very, very powerful, and we've been able to see that, and it's not always that way. And so when you have it, man, you want to take advantage of it, and you want to continue to build on that, and that's really where we are right now. And I think we got a coaching staff and a group that is excited where we are and wants to continue to improve and continue to climb that mountain and be special.
Coach, you mentioned how well you recruited over the years. You've got your first early signing period coming up. I imagine you're in favor of that, but what are your thoughts on that, and what kind of challenge does that present this time of year as you're trying to prep for the playoff?
It's definitely different. I mean, I know a lot of us were pushing for the early signing date, and now that we're going through it, right now there's no exact formula. We're talking to other college coaches, asking them, kind of how they're doing things and kind of figuring out as we go. I know we've had some crazy schedules as coaches, a little bit more aggressive in December while you're trying to also have bowl practice and do those type of things because you're going to have so many guys sign here in December. But I think it'll be really beneficial for us in January when it's time to go out. We kind of know what our class looks like. And they have a few guys left, but really have a chance to go focus on some of the younger guys and get a good plan for that. But I think we got to kind of go through it to kind of figure out, how to best go about it next year. But so far, it's been fine for us. I think the biggest challenge is for programs where they have a staff change. I think that looks to be a very, very big challenge, and I'm not sure if everybody really took that into account whenever they were pushing for the December signing date. But it's interesting and something we'll continue to watch, and I'll be interested to see how many guys around the country sign on the 20th.
Jeff, do you sometimes feel like you and Tony are a married couple?
Yeah, we're definitely feel like we're co-parenting here with the Clemson offense. It's been special. And Tony, it goes back to our relationship, and I like to joke with people and say when Tony and I were in school here, you actually had stretch partners at practice. Now everything's individual stretches, but I can remember many afternoons where we're having talks with each other about what we want to do in life after football. And if somebody would have walked up, if Coach Rick Stockstill would have walked up to us at that point and told us that we would be coordinating the Clemson offense, in 10 or 12 years from now, I'm not sure if we'd have believed that, but it's been awesome. Who you work with and who you work for and who you work with, I think are two key things to your success and also your enjoyment going to work. And we just have a great chemistry. I think it's awesome that we have so many coaches on our staff that played at Clemson. 4 of our 5 full-time coaches on offense all played at Clemson. And I think that's rare at this level. And also when you start counting in our support staff, that number is in the double digits. And so we take a lot of pride in that. And it's been awesome. But yes, we know what each other's thinking. We can finish each other's sentences, and it's a lot of fun.
So you say that you talk to a lot of coaches around the country. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of having a co-offensive coordinator instead of kind of heading the show by yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not to say that it could work everywhere. I think the reason that it works here is because of the environment, number one, and also the relationship between Tony and myself that went back a long ways. I think if you had two people that maybe didn't know each other coming into a environment, it probably would be even more of a challenge. But you know, for us, I think the other thing that Tony and I try to take a lot of pride in is to make sure that it's not about ourselves, and to make sure it's about our players. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes coaches are the biggest promoters, promoting themselves and what they're accomplishing, and we try to take a lot of pride in, you know, it's a lot like Coach Sweeney. I mean, he's a very selfless leader, and for everything that he's accomplished, he's one of the most humble coaches that I know and that I've been around. And you know, we try to do that, and I think we take a lot of pride in offensively. We've got a lot of playmakers. The last few years we've had a lot of playmakers, and we've had very few issues with guys being selfish. And so we hope that maybe we can model that for our guys. And if we can do that as a coaching staff, I think that's a positive. But you know, it's fun. We've enjoyed it, but I'm not saying it's the easiest thing. But I think the advantage for us is, you know, with Tony's background and knowledge in the running game, and hopefully my experience in the passing game, you know, we can manage our time very well and split it up. And that's really, whenever Coach Sweeney presented it, we wanted to look at it as an advantage, maybe in our game planning and our prep. And then also, and we got very good coaches in that room that also have a lot of input. And it's really not just Tony and I putting together the game plan. There's really about 10 people that are heavily involved in the game plan each week.
I know this is an opportunity for maybe some younger guys or guys that aren't playing as much to kind of get some work in. Any of those that have stood out to you?
Yeah, you know, I think later in the year, some of these younger guys, you know, are starting to get in their groove a little bit. You know, I think a guy like Cornell Powell, T.J. Chase, you know, those are guys obviously we've been able to see. T. Higgins on the field. DeAndre Overton's getting more confident in what he's doing. You know, but even a guy like J.C. Chalk, you know, tight end, you know, being able to get more reps and go out and make some plays. You know, I've definitely been able to see that. And also, you know, we use bowl time to really work with that next group, with the guys that are on scout team. We stay after for another 20 minutes, let the varsity guys do some conditioning, go inside, and we keep that younger group out there. A guy like Chase Bryce, you know, being able to get 20 minutes of individual and you know, one-on-one time with Coach Streeter, you know, I think over a month can really add up and put him a little bit further ahead whenever it's time for spring ball.
Going back to recruiting really quick, you could have 0 juniors turn pro, you could have 1, you could have 8. How do you handle that as far as, hey, you know, we're going to go out maybe and chase these spots, or we're comfortable holding till next year?
The good thing is that's Coach Sweeney, Coach Streeter's problem. So I told Coach Streeter, I'm glad that's you and not me. But you know, I think number one, it's about communication. And Coach Sweeney, there's not one staff meeting that we have throughout the entire fall where Coach Sweeney's not talking about our numbers. And you know, he's holding our coaches accountable. It's easy as coaches, especially with the success that we've had as a team. It's easy to go out and find guys that want to come to Clemson. And Coach Sweeney is really he challenges our staff every day to be sure that we're very intentional to bring the best players that are the best fit at Clemson, and not just going out and trying to sign as many guys as we possibly can. And so there's definitely a lot of communication. There's constant talk. I mean, you have a lot of things that can change, and so I think it's having a plan and being able to go out and execute that plan. But Coach Sweeney is not he's definitely not a coach that's going to go over-sign. You know, he's going to be very careful. This is not a program that tries to run players off. You know, and he wants every one of those juniors that want to come back, he wants them to have their spot. He's loyal to those guys and not to anybody in high school. So it's something we talk about a lot, and Coach Sweeney does a good job of managing that.
All set. Thank you.